What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast, a show dedicated to talking about all the Poskers things in life, like music content creation and whatever Veritas has in that koozie. I'm one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam.
And there ain't no laws.
Ain't no law where we're drinking claws.
Even though it's
high noon.
Because I got one of those variety packs at the gas station.
Nice.
The end cap marketing fucking got me this time.
Got
boys.
me. Couldn't help but grab the 12 pack of the high noons.
Brother, you have 3 seconds to answer this question.
Okay. I'm so locked in.
What state of the United States is the closest to Africa?
Florida.
Wrong.
Wrong.
You have 5 more seconds to think about
Alaska. Like I was thinking, like
the most. It's got to be the least likely.
Yeah. There's something about how the world works. I mean,
that's equally as wrong.
I mean, like South Carolina,
Maine.
That seems crazy. Is it just
like,
because Maine is so much far east?
Maine is
than
the
Florida.
Eastmost.
Yeah.
It's 1,000 miles closer than Florida.
Hold on. World map. Damn.
And then, of course, if you're looking at like a Mercator projection.
Yeah.
The like curvature.
What the frick? Wow.
Another trivia question. Which state has the longest coastline?
Yeah, that is crazy. Maine is so far east. Which state has the longest coastline? I mean, Cali comes to mind.
I can tell you that looking at a map ain't going to help you.
Well, I was looking at Africa. I mean, Cali is what comes to mind, or Florida because it wraps.
I'll tell you the answer.
Or
is
Alaska.
The only state whose name has 1 syllable.
Maine.
Today it's Maine facts. Everybody.
Wait, that can't be true.
It can be. It can be if you got to zoom real far in.
Oh, okay.
Because of how it's like,
yeah. On a technicality.
I mean, like literally, like the coastline isn't just like draw a line from one corner to the other.
It kind of is.
I mean, that's a different. I'm sure there's a different name for that.
Yeah.
I just watched a video that was like, girl from Finland learns about the state that's like most like Finland, basically. And I learned a bunch of fun facts about the whitest state in the union.
It's crazy too, because I'm on Google Earth right now. When you look at like a map, like the Mercator projection, it feels like, and this is more of a vibe because I don't like study maps. It feels like it's like America, South America, right? And then across the pond is Europe and Africa. And intuitively my brain thinks Africa is like if you drew a line west from like the nubbin of Africa, you would hit like Brazil. They're both like south, but like the entire United States.
Like there's four corners of the earth and they're just like next to each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like the reality is, looking at this map, like if you just went directly east from Maine, you would hit Africa, not Europe.
Yeah, dog.
And that's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's somehow the globe propaganda never really made it fully into our brains, huh?
Yeah. Freaking globers.
Yeah, now that you say that.
Right?
What the fuck?
Right? Like if you told me what happened, what are you going to hit if you just go straight east from New York City? I'd be like, France, Spain.
I would say France,
Spain.
dude. It's not even close.
Yeah, right? That's kind of crazy.
I mean, yeah, that's because like you just end up going like
yeah,
the whole thing
yeah.
when you chop it up. It's listen, I blame Big Mercator. Okay.
Mercator, that son of a gun. That son of a gun. Well, dang.
You know whose fault?
Fun facts.
This isn't the Lego Corporation.
Bro, what the actual hell is going on with the bricks and minifigs thing? So like,
have you how hip are you on?
Not very hip at all. You told me a little bit about it on the PP. You were like, you had mentioned that you had tweeted something about it and that tweet kind of went crazy.
It's gotten even wilder.
And you
like
gave me, yeah, just like the 10,000 foot view rundown consignment shop. He put up, there was this big thing. They were like, nah, fam, these are not the Legos you're looking for type shit. And then the guy made a YouTube video about it. And then it's getting weird and like police are harassing this guy. And then I saw the CEO of Patreon was making a statement about it. And I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to miss so many details because it's such a complex thing. And I like literally I started to take notes because I'm like, I'm going to miss relevant details. Yeah. So I'm just going to say this now. I stopped taking notes because this ain't high school. Sorry. I'm not. So to everybody who's
we're gonna get some parts wrong, but broad strokes here. Broad strokes.
So there's like a dying guy has Lego collection worth allegedly upwards of $200,000. His son kind of takes over and is gonna like try to offload it. And I don't know if it's for like medical expenses or whatever, but basically. He ends up going to this company called Bricks and Minifigs. They have a bunch of franchises and stuff.
Yep.
Now, it took me a while to figure this out, but the Bricks and Minifigs, as in minifigurines, the bricks as in Legos.
Yep.
None of this actually has anything to do with like the Lego Corporation. Basically, the Lego official
big Lego is
Lego,
like
they're like we've got nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they basically consign it at this shop. Now this shop, almost all, if not all of their entire store was this one collection, basically.
Yeah.
Like that's how big they had to like bring in extra tables and shit, I guess. Like it was an extensive collection. And then fast forward, I think a bunch of this stuff got sold. Because as you would expect, right, things are just going to get sold piecemeal at a time. Then because it's a franchise, the owners of the franchise, who are just like these people, I forget what their names are, Mansell or something. For whatever reason, they ended up basically, I think they were gonna like move overseas or something, but they're like went to corporate and were like, we will either want to shut down the store or you guys can like take it over or whatever.
Yeah.
Corporate. This is so complicated. I think it was like corporate took the store over. I'm probably getting some detail because this is all going to get into legal shit.
Yeah.
All of these specifics actually matter.
Yeah.
And we're only getting smatterings of things from people who aren't legal experts and who might have the correct information, like whatever. Yeah. And half of it's coming from this YouTuber, Reckless Ben, who he's like a Zoomer YouTuber,
Lego journalist.
Zoomer journalist. Like one of his videos from a few years back, I haven't watched any of his other videos. I don't think it was like I stole my own painting from like the Museum of Modern Art or like something like that. It's like, okay. So effectively the corporate is like, well, you guys actually owe us tons of money, like the franchisee.
Okay.
And they were like, just take the fucking store, repo it. We're like leaving the country, whatever. So then that happens. And then the people, the original owners, the guy or whatever comes back for his Lego stuff. And they're like, we don't have your Legos, bro. Like, go kick rocks. and a bunch of stuff happened. It's not exactly clear as to like what happened.
Yeah.
Sort of in between the time where it was like there was that change, they tried to get the stuff back, whatever ended up happening, that's when they got in contact with Reckless Ben, who then basically like walked in there and was like, I'd like to pick up my Legos. And they're like, what Legos? And the guy's like, oh, well, my friend of mine has these Legos, blah blah blah. And then they're like, call the fucking cops, basically. And it's like, so that's why I think that there's like the things that happened in between. Like, I don't know if the you don't know how much of the story you're getting, right?
Yes,
like,
I'm not.
I won't say that like Reckless Ben is dishonest or anything like that. All I can say is that, like, I don't have the facts. I can't just take his word for it.
Yeah.
He's like, you tried to get it back, and they said no. Well, that could be 6 months of like death threats, harassment.
You never know. Yeah.
I don't know. I've already forgotten all of the millions of details because there's hours and hours of content.
Yeah.
So basically this YouTuber ends up trying to go back multiple times to try and get it. They basically keep calling the cops on him. He has like, they like wear like, it starts to get crazy, and that like he starts to wear like fucking disguises and like posing as like delivery drivers to try to get them to sign shit.
Oh my God.
At one point it was like they delivered a fake package and then had handed them the thing to sign. They signed it and they walked out, but it was actually like a contract stating some other thing. So there's like a lot of just weird sketchy stuff.
Yikes. Oh my God.
Like, it seemed as if that was like an attempt to actually get like you actually signed this thing, and it's like, well, wait a minute, I don't know if that's it's
Jesus Christ.
YouTubers aren't lawyers.
Yeah.
What I will say is I think like some combination of either the corporate, the franchisee, or whatever, like somebody fucked up.
Yeah.
Almost definitely. And they should figure out a way to like get the money or the Legos
back to the owner,
this family. But I will also say that like there's just a lot of questionable legal stuff that like in the video he's like, we had to do, in order to do this thing, we had to commit a felony. And then they're like, it's like, bro, like I don't know how you.
Yikes.
So like at one point they bought a website that was like westealfromoldpeople.com or something, and what they did was the website was I think they took their logo, like Bricks and Minifigs, and they just named their company We Steal From Old People with Bricks and Minifigs as like the logo, but they just said like, oh well, Bricks and Minifigs is just that's like the subtitle, like We Steal From Old People : Bricks and Minifigs, like that kind of thing. And then they stood out front of the store and we're like selling merch to people outside. And I'm like, that's probably IP theft.
Why? A lot of things. How did this freaking kid get involved in this shit?
I think he's a journalist that does crazy things. And I think at some point he's like, anybody have any stories? And he's reached out. So like, it's super funny. It's super entertaining. But what I will say is that like, especially these days, I'm watching dozens of hours of court videos, thinking about the law and a lot of this stuff, and I'm just thinking like a lot of this stuff is really questionable. Like and then they get trespassed multiple times, and they kind of show up across the street, put up signs. At one point they print out like a banner that is like their logo, and they like hang it over their sign, and it's like so much of this stuff has to be illegal. So it's like I'm rooting for them, but at the same time, it's like, I would never do most of these things. So it's just something to keep in mind that like right now the world is rooting for Reckless Ben and this family. They're like us back. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like you get to court and you find out that like, oh, they put a bomb in his basement or something. You know what I mean? Like,
you're like,
I'm not making any claims about what they did, what they didn't do, but some of the stuff they did do seemed questionable. But then you never know, like they can say like we did a felony, and they can like not actually do it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But they can like say that they did it in the YouTube video, so it's like entertaining, but they didn't actually do a crime, or they might have admitted to it. In a video, which is going to be hard to defend in court.
Which is going to be hard to defend in court.
But anyway, so the whole time they would go to corporate and they'd say, we want to figure out this stuff. And the corporate would be like, you need to talk to the owners of the franchise, like, because they can help you. Then they go there and then they'd say, get out, call the cops on them. Well, then they were like, well, we need to talk to them, but they can't go. So it's like, we can't do anything. We can't talk to anybody. Nobody will talk to us.
Yeah.
And so that was part of the like pressure, was like, we'll try and basically like put economic pressure on the company so that they have to come to us.
Yeah.
Basically, because we've done everything possible. Well, they end up going to, I think this is all in California, I want to say, is where most of the stuff is happening. But eventually they end up in Utah, where I don't know all the titles. I don't know if it's a CEO, like higher ups at the company.
Bricks and Minifigs.
Yeah. And this is like episode 2 of the thing where they're in Utah. And things got really weird. They, drove to, like the guy's house or whatever, because they, like took him to small claims court, or were going to take him to small claims court or something. And I think they had to like serve him papers.
Okay.
But he like was refusing to accept the papers. They showed up there. He called the cops on them and basically was like, get the fuck away. So then they went across the street and like put a sign across the street that said, something about I steal from old people or whatever it was. Right. Then the cops come again and tell them to fuck off. And then they go to drive away. And then the cops pull them over again and say that, we were told that there was meth in the car. And then they go to drive away again, and then they get pulled over for running 10 minutes later, get pulled over again for running a stop sign when we have the footage from the dash cam. They didn't run a stop sign. They get taken out, patted down. Then 30 minutes later, they get pulled over again and put in handcuffs.
What?
It was like, what was happening with the police there was so crazy that I'm like, there is something else. I'm like, I know there's something else involved.
Yeah.
My gut reaction was like, bro, the mayor has to be like the Bricks and Minifigs CEO, who has to be like the brother-in-law of the police.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, that's when you're reminded they're in Utah, which what's mentioned in the video, and it made perfect sense because I'm like, yo, these people are behaving like Scientologists. If you've ever seen the Scientology stuff where they like follow you around and like threaten you, and like it's because the cops were like, they would like pull one of the people over and then like they would know the names of the people in the car because like the guy was just like, I need them arrested. I need them arrested. So then the question is the Mormon church, because all the cops, everyone in Utah, most of them are Mormon, right? Now I've known a million Mormons. They're all like the super nicest people, like, but you can't deny small town Mormon area, Mormon business owners. You would instantly assume that the cops are going to say, if they're all members of the church, it's not crazy, unreasonable.
Like it's not a proven fact, but it's not a unreasonable thing to consider. Yeah. That's an escalation. Holy shit.
Well, yeah, and they start saying like, oh, well, they were accusing them of threatening to like kill people, which like as far as I know never happened. They say it never happened. Maybe it did. Maybe, I don't know. But then they arrested them for DUI. They thought they were on meth for literally no reason whatsoever. So if they ended up getting the body cam footage. Now, what was interesting is a ton of the body cam footage was muted, like redacted. And it's like sometimes that happens, right? When there's certain amount of information, but it wasn't muted by the cops. It was redacted by when you call Freedom of Information, you request it. Usually there's like someone who works behind a desk who like puts it all on a thumb drive. Oh, heroin. Yeah, maybe it was heroin. Well, today, literally today, a video was, we have all the footage. Somehow they got the unredacted footage. He says, now what he said was, someone hacked the police mainframe. So of course, I have no idea how hyperbolic this is, right? If it's like, if
Jesus,
true, is that like a felony?
To release a video? Oh my god, bro! What the hell?
Now, keep in mind, for the last few videos, he's basically said like, "There's a warrant out for my arrest, and I'm in Mexico. So good luck getting me." And it's like, Jesus Christ, I don't even know. Do you want to drive over the border with a warrant? Like, oh
dude,
god,
what the fuck?
Anyway,
this kid's insane.
Now, all of the footage. Now the lady who they called at the police station, who was like, we only redact things for privacy and for blah blah blah. We totally rejected anything. Somehow they have the footage, and all of it was like, none of it mentioned anything about like the church or anything like that. And so the more I see, the more I think like it's necessarily like a church corruption kind of thing. Yeah. I think to whatever extent that would be a thing, it's that like they're more likely you're more likely to side with a local business owner who you know is a member of the church, as opposed to like having it be some systemic thing.
Yeah, like a command from the top. It was just like.
But I absolutely don't think that it was unreasonable to question it, because the amount that they were getting harassed by the police was to the level of Scientologist cult craziness. So like, even before the Mormon thing came up in the video, I was like, bro, there's something else going on here.
Yeah.
This isn't just about Legos. Imagine showing up in a town, you go to serve a guy papers, and you get pulled over like 7 times and then arrested.
Yeah.
So in the unredacted body cam video, first of all, the guy kept saying like, it's fake, the lawsuit's fake, those papers are fake, it's illegal what they're doing, because he got a girl who was like a process server to serve the papers. But he was like, she's a fake process server. She's like pretending to be a blah, blah, blah. They were real papers. The cop took the papers and were like, you want me to give it to them? And he's like, yeah, sure. He went to go give it to him. He wouldn't take them. He just said, they're fake, they're fake, they're fake. The cop then went back to his car, called the court for the papers. And they said, yup, that's a real case. And then 10 minutes later, Reckless Ben was arrested. Jeez. The guy was like, you need to find something to arrest these people for. You need to arrest them. Like, even if it's not like church-related corruption at all, their police officers better be losing their fucking jobs over this once this is all said and done.
That's insane, bro. What the hell?
They even admitted, they're like, what are we going to take him for? And they're like, I don't know, man. Like, they admitted he wasn't like under the influence. Like, yeah, he's good to go. I don't know what to do. Like, So it's all bad.
What the hell, bro?
And out of everything, the one thing that is the most questionable is the fact that when the guy, the CEO guy, whatever, called to the police on Reckless Ben, he basically was like, I've got my gun. Like, I don't, what did he say? It was basically like, some kind of indirect, like, I got a gun and I'm going to use it if you don't do something. It was effectively what the guy said.
And this is the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs, or the franchise owner?
This is not the franchise owner. The franchise owner like hasn't really been involved at all.
Yeah.
It's all been like mostly corporate and people. So I don't know if the CEO.
Okay, but
or like
corporate Bricks and Minifigs.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I don't want to say definitively because this
Holy
is also convoluted.
Shit.
This is like some dark level of family tree shit you need to put together to make sense of it all. Right. And they were at an Airbnb in the area because they were staying there to try to do this. And we have all the body cam footage of them rolling up with fucking ARs and shit, raiding the Airbnb because allegedly the owner of the Airbnb heard them talking about how they stole Legos. So fucking straight up like SWAT.
So SWAT kicks down the door? What?
Apparently they like dislocated his shoulder or something in the process. You can see them like rip on like his shoulder.
Dude, what?
It's Dude, it's fucking crazy.
And like this stuff is happening in Utah, but that's not where the original Legos were. The original Legos were like Oregon or California or something.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know if it's Oregon, I don't know if it's California. I think Ben's from California.
Okay.
I don't remember where. Washington? Yeah, I don't know.
What the hell, dude?
But it's crazy. Now, also another thing that just happened today was somebody posted. Let me read it because this was like very last minute. So this was Bricks and Minifigs. This is like a press release.
I saw the like CEO of Bricks and Minifigs posted a video. I didn't watch it, but
yeah, he posted a video and it was like seemingly doubling, tripling down, lying, a whole bunch of bullshit.
Okay.
And then he went on a podcast and answered a bunch of questions, and it seemed like it was even more lying and more doubling down. Now, while this is all happening, Reckless Ben's videos are blowing up, going crazy. Bricks and Minifigs, I believe it was Bricks and Minifigs. They DMCA strike.
That's right. I heard
Reckless
that.
Ben, and they hit him on Patreon. Now, what I didn't know that Jack Conte. So I have been a fan of Jack Conte because he is in
a band called Pamplemousse.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And their music is fucking fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's such and so they're literally one of the only like YouTube shorts I regularly consume.
Yes. Same.
I don't scroll YouTube shorts, but I'll watch.
But if you see one of them, yeah.
And binge them all like once every few months. I didn't know that he was the CEO and co-founder of Patreon.
Yep.
Now they got a DMCA takedown notice, and he basically said, "Fuck you."
Yep.
And didn't take everything down because what Ben was doing was he put like each part up a week or two in advance.
Yeah.
Which is of course genius.
Yeah.
Because like I wanted to watch. If we'll see, like I was reacting to them on stream. If I wasn't, I would have probably signed up for the Patreon.
Yeah.
Rather than wait, but I decided to wait.
Holy moly, bro.
So let me read. So that all happened a couple days ago. Now, so of course this has just been a PR nightmare for Bricks and Minifigs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And unfortunately they're a franchise, so like all the other franchisees are getting reviewed, which is unfortunate.
Completely uninvolved. Yeah.
But like that's the thing. It's like you gotta blame the fucking corporate office. Even though like Ben is causing all of this shit to happen, I'm sure the internet is taking it probably way too far.
Yeah.
It's up to corporate to like fix their PR nightmare. Well, June 4th, today, Bricks and Minifigs parts ways with Salem, Oregon franchise owners Brandon Best and Joshua Johnson. Evidence of negligence uncovered. Brian Mansell and Crystal Law Gorman jointly valued Lego collection at $95,000, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Salt Lake City, Utah. Authorized Lego reseller specializing in buying, blah, 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 announces the permanent closure of its Salem, Oregon store, as well as a mutual agreement to part ways with franchise owners Brandon Best and Joshua Johnson due to a devastating social media campaign. So I think that Best and Johnson were the people that took over. See, this is where it gets complicated. I think they took over. I don't know if they are a part of corporate.
Yeah.
Those are the two that took over the franchise. I don't know who they are. I don't remember, but while fact investigation continues, BAM's current state of its investigation has uncovered significant evidence of gross negligence and how the store was previously operated by the prior owner, as well as operational gaps during the transition and the subsequent management of document recovery. Because that was one of the things was they basically called to speak to, I think it was either Best or Johnson, and were after like a long time of challenging, trying to get it all back before they went to Utah.
Yeah.
And at one point they had the conversation where the guy was basically like, if you go into the store and you apologize there was the woman owner
Mhm.
or woman behind the desk counter. I don't know if she's the owner or what. Like he was like, if you apologize to her for what you did, like a written apology,
Yeah.
which then we can like talk about getting everything back, which already is kind of an admission that like we have the stuff that we're having. And he's like, I swear to God, I wouldn't lie to you, you know, all this stuff. And he has all that recorded. And then he went and he did that. Well, first of all, he went in to apologize to her, to give her the thing. And of course, they call the police on him because he's already been trespassed.
Yeah.
And so, but in Ben's mind, I guess, like if you've been trespassed, but they say you can come back.
Yeah.
Like, but then again, like, I don't know if he's the one that trespassed or if it's the woman.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know who, but he ends up going there. The cops are coming again. But yeah, so the last thing is that it says, we've been asking for documentation for a long time. We asked Mr. Mansell and others and did not receive enough to give us a clear picture until recently. Thanks to internal and external operations assistants and those who continue to stand with us, we have enough to proceed with the resolution. And now that we do, Brian, I believe is I want to say the family,
the owner of the Legos. Okay.
We continue to offer to sit down with you and are prepared to discuss dropping the lawsuit against you. Let's go through the spreadsheets and the point of sale and we'll get it all back. Because that's the thing. Corporate is suing Brian Mansell and they're suing Reckless Ben. Reckless Ben is suing corporate. The people in Utah are suing Reckless Ben. It's literally the
Office meme.
It's that.
Why the fuck is corporate suing the owner of the Legos?
Well,
for sicking Reckless Ben on them?
For like effectively, I don't remember exactly, but it could very well be either some combination of like harassment, IP theft, defamation, like something like that. I'm sure. I don't know that everyone's suing everyone for different combinations of different things. Again, I don't remember all the details. I'm not about to check at all, but.
And so that statement was today?
That was today. So it basically seems like corporate is like
trying to.
These people are fucked. Yeah. Even though corporate is. Yeah. Corporate was really bad. They went to corporate and corporate's like, fuck you, deal with them, like repeatedly.
Yeah.
They were not. This is just one of those. They were not helpful.
Yeah. Like this is one of those things where it's like, you know, like you were saying, like there's details we probably don't know. There might even be details that like change how we think about, you know, this whole thing that we don't know. But something as simple as I gave you a shit ton of Legos to put on consignment. I would like the ones that have not been sold back. It doesn't get to this level of a like tri-state quad lawsuit case without corporate being culpable, right? It's like you know what I'm saying? Like something that simple cannot have escalated this high without, you know, them having at least earlier in the opportunity been or earlier in this bit had the opportunity to be like, hey, whoa. You know, hey, franchise owner, give me the receipts, give me the point of sale, like what's been sold. Let's get this guy his Legos back. Let's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, there's no way somebody at corporate at some point before this moment hadn't had the opportunity to be like, hey, this is getting out of hand. Even if you do have some Zoomer making crazy YouTube videos, all the more reason to say that at some point they had the opportunity to step in and be like, this is such a simple thing. We either have his Legos or we don't. We either sold them or not, but let's figure that out in like 8 hours and get him what he's owed. So like, exactly. So it's like the fact that it's gone this long and this far and with this many lawsuits, it's like they are culpable for something. They are responsible for something for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, part of the problem is that like, I think that they just thought that like it would just go away. Like,
yeah. That is like the number one rule of the internet is it doesn't just go away.
Well, no, but that's the thing is that like this happened for weeks and months before, like episode 1 didn't drop long ago. So this hasn't been in the public eye for very long.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So if they took 3 months of saying fuck you, fuck you, fuck you,
gotcha,
and then all of a sudden the YouTube video hits, and then it's like everything gets set on fire.
Yeah, okay.
It looks like, why have you been doing this so long? Look at your reputation's tanked, and it's like they haven't had this.
No, I understand. I didn't realize that. I thought the videos were coming out as it went along. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I can double check. I might be wrong on that. I don't think so, but Reckless Ben. I don't know the part 1. When did the part 1 come out? Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Damn. Okay.
And I'm sure this had to have been like months.
Yeah.
I tracked down. Yeah. So okay. So here's the thing. This is where like defamation and some of the difficult stuff comes in. Is, first of all, the title of his video was "I tracked down a thief who stole $200,000 of Lego." Now, one of the things that was recently said on another, I don't know if it was a podcast or an interview, that was kind of like, ooh, you know, like that if it was me, I would like slap myself. Like, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Which was basically, they had said, he admitted that like the $200,000 was like kind of clickbait. Like he admitted it was clickbait.
Okay.
Because like the collection was $200,000, but they probably sold like half of it or something.
Ah,
but
gotcha.
it's also like they valued it at $200,000.
Yeah.
It might have been valued at only half, and a bunch of it was sold.
Yeah.
So technically, it would have been like, you could argue like there's an interpretation that is like the old original franchise owners walked away with $40,000 of Lego money, but instead, so it's they didn't give us $40,000 worth of stuff or whatever because they closed the business and it got repoed and they left the country.
Yeah.
As opposed to they stole $200,000 from a dying family.
Yeah.
And so they admit it's clickbait. They admit it wasn't exactly 200,000. It might have been a lot less. And he said at this point, he's like, it's a 50-50 as to like who is in the wrong here. It could have been the original folks,
the original franchisee owners, the new ones. Yeah.
Or corporate. And it's like, so that when you're saying Bricks and Minifigs corporate, or when you're saying like Brian Mansell or who these people are, it's like, ooh, it just starts to get into really
Christ, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it seems as if, at least with the latest thing, I have a feeling that this is all gonna end up probably okay for the owners of the Lego. I mean, I think they had a GoFundMe and they raised like $350 something thousand as of like 2 days ago, which means I'm sure they're gonna. At this point, as is the case with a lot of these things where the people end up profiting, like this terrible debacle ends up being the best thing that ever happened to them, right? Which is like totally fine. There's a little bit of cosmic justice, right? I don't mind that.
Yeah.
But
wow.
But I also like there's a chance that like Reckless Ben might have some kind of legal liability here.
I mean, yeah. I think just from what you've told me, there's a very non-zero chance the dude committed some crime and admitted to it on camera. And I'm not saying he's, the guy that stole the Legos or anything, but it definitely seems like he, there's a good cause, and then there's the right way to go about fighting for a good cause, and then there are some other ways you could go about fighting for a good cause, and it's a good cause nonetheless. But
I just know that like
yowza.
I am like super, super careful. I try to be, at least. Like, I think if you want to see an example of something very careful, in terms of research, in terms of claims, in terms of claims versus opinions. I mean, my Billy Mitchell video, everything I said there was absolutely fucking spot on. I had legal
consultants,
consultants work on that with me just to be sure. as best as one could be. And with all the claims that were made in just episode 1, and the episode 2 is twice as much. Episode 3, I bet she's gonna be 4 times. It's just like exponential here. I'm like, there's no way he didn't. First of all, there's no way a lawyer okayed any of this. Second of all, there's no way he didn't make some mistakes, and all it takes is 1 or 2 mistakes to fucking bury yourself legally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this isn't like a moral judgment.
No,
it's more so like if it were me, I'd be sweating.
Yeah. Holy moly. Holy cow. What an interesting.
This makes me want to I need to, those old pieces of paper that were have the little pull-offs for like piano lessons with the little snips.
Yes.
I need to just put out a bunch of those on cork boards where it's got some crazy story that you need me to investigate.
I'm here. PI Veritas.
Bro, I when I see this, I'm like, I wish it was me. Now, granted, I don't think I would have made as entertaining as meme-filled video.
Right, because you would have actually done your homework and been careful about what you said and not clickbaited the title. And
it wouldn't have been as zoomer of an edit, which meant it wouldn't get the viewership and whatever. But I'm like, holy fuck, I would just love to be involved.
To be in possession of a story like that. And to make a YouTube about it, to be the one to break the story and have the internet rally behind you,
actually, if you have a fucking story, if you've got a crazy story that you want someone to investigate and look into, and you think it's really juicy, info@veritas.wtf. Email me. I might not respond. I might respond.
Oh, that's wild stuff, man. Holy cow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, before we move on and talk about some other stuff, I do want to take a quick second and thank the sponsor for this week's episode, and that is The Perfect Gene. You know them, you love them, and they live up to the name, The Perfect Gene. Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, they're literally the perfect pair of jeans. I, as somebody who was committed to the $20. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Man, the audio listeners really missed the Perfect Gene ads. God dang. You gotta check the video out for the video. I was always a guy that was just so committed to just buy the cheapest jeans imaginable. And then I was literally replacing them every single year. You wear them once and then they don't fit right. You have to wash them almost after every wear. But I was just so committed. And the Perfect Gene literally changed my life on how as someone who's addicted to wearing jeans, I even as a Florida man, I withhold from wearing shorts as long as I can because I just love wearing jeans. The Perfect Gene, they fit amazing. There's an endless amount of choices in terms of cut, size, width, and length for all you tall dudes out there, or short kings. And they're incredibly comfortable. They have the perfect amount of stretch. They retain their shape between wears. It's just everything you want out of a jean. No frills, just every single thing you want out of a pair of jeans.
Yeah, if they're comfortable, if they last, and they look,
and they're
good,
high quality, and they look good,
and you can get them to fit, then what else?
What else is there?
Right? And the fact that given that I try to leave the house as little as possible, I'm pretty much sweatpants maxing for most of my life. They make it so that I can look like I leave the house while also being comfortable.
Yes.
They're not you could look.
Yeah. You could eat a Thanksgiving turkey.
I look like one of those, I lost 95 pounds on the Perfect Gene diet, which is to just have jeans that fit you that can also stretch, compared to all the other rest of my clothes, which I had to buy a whole bunch of new t-shirts.
Yeah.
Because all my smalls don't fit me anymore. But yeah, dude, quality, comfort, fashion, beautiful. Mwah,
yeah,
fantastic.
It's amazing. And Father's Day's coming up. Just saying, Father's Day's coming up. So if you're interested in getting your dad something, they got the jeans. Once again, every type of cut, every type of fit, every color, every size. They have their line of Den khakis, which is a whole kind of khaki line, many different things. They even have shorts. They've got really comfortable shirts. They've got all sorts of stuff. They outside of just the jeans now, but the jeans are S tier. And our listeners can get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectgene.nyc. Google The Perfect Gene or Google The Perfect Gene and use code POGCAST15. That is POGCAST15 for 15% off your order at theperfectgene.nyc and free shipping. Thank you so much to Perfect Gene for sponsoring this episode.
Hell yeah.
Bazow. Kabloom. Kablow. Rest in peace, my granny. She got hit by a bazooka.
So what is that?
And now I think about her every time I hit the hookah. You haven't heard that song? Rest in peace, my granny. She got hit by a bazooka. It's been stuck in my head for 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Skibbity toilet shit.
Yeah, kind of. I genuinely don't know if it's a real song or like an AI song that was made just for a YouTube short, but it worked its way in my brain. And now I sing it all the time. Rest in peace, my granny. She got hit by a bazooka.
Yikes.
Now I think about it every time I hit the hookah.
That actually reminds me of one of the few YouTube shorts I watched, and I thought of you. Did you see this? It was a guy talking to, I think it was ChatGPT, with like the voice mode or whatever.
Yeah.
And he God, what does he do? So he basically is like, hey, ChatGPT, I'm holding my phone here. Can you hear me? Am I loud and clear? And it's like, yeah, I can hear you totally fine. No problems. And he's like, all right, I'm going to walk 100 meters away.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me if you can hear me. And it's like, okay, sure. All right, I'm 100 meters away. Can you hear me? Did you see this?
No, but I know who this is, and I've seen a bunch of theirs, yeah.
100 meters away, can you hear me? And it's like, yeah, I can hear you. It's a little bit harder. And he's literally just standing there holding it in his hand. And he's like, all right, I'm going to go 200 meters away, and do you tell me if you can hear me clearly? Okay, I'm 200 meters away. Can you hear me? And it's like, yeah, I can hear you, but it's getting a little bit harder.
Oh,
like,
bro.
I'm gonna go a mile away. Tell me, once I get there, I'll let you know. Tell me if you can hear me. All right, so I'm a mile away, and it's like, I can barely hear you. You're really going to want to speak up a little bit louder. And then he interrupts it, and he's like, all right, I took one step closer. Is this better? Yep. Oh, great. Now I can hear you much clearer. And it's like, the top comment was, RAM is $900 because of this, by the way. Yeah. Just that sort of sums it up.
100%. 100%. Dude, I've seen ones where he was like, what number doesn't have the letter T in it when it's spelled out? And ChatGPT's like, 22. And he's like, does 22 have a T in it if it's spelled out? And it's like, yep. Okay, well, I just asked you which number. Oh, you're totally right. My bad. That was totally my bad. Can you give me another number that doesn't have any T's in it? Yeah, 33. And it's just like, I watched one where he just asked, he's like, ChatGPT, count to 100. And he did it like 14 times and it couldn't count to 100. It would get to like 20 and then just start skipping numbers. 22, 26, 49, 51, 53. And then he would stop. Dude, it was so funny. And then everyone has comments like that. That's like, yeah, RAM is $900 because of this. Did you hear about the Samsung thing?
No.
Not to get like, I don't know. I feel like just talking about anything other than video games turns political, and I'm not trying to do that. But apparently, wherever Samsung
talking about video games is political.
Yeah,
too,
that's true. That's so true. The woke God of War. Oh my God, bro. God, people are so stupid. Anyways, wherever Samsung is headquartered, so Samsung had their like the division of Samsung that makes chips for RAM just had like the most globally, South Korea, globally insane quarter of all time. Like 50x any quarter they've ever had, right? Because of what's happening, because like the RAM is just like, they need the RAM. And the people that worked in that division went on strike, and they were like, they were like, this is our moment. We want some of this pie. And Samsung basically immediately caved because they were so scared of losing out on
I
profit.
thought you were going to say, and Samsung said, cool, man, hold my robotic arm here.
Samsung caved because they know that they just need to be outputting RAM to just make ungodly amounts of money. So, and it was 10% of the profit was distributed among each person, which totaled about 360,000 United States dollars per worker. As a one-time bonus.
And are these people in like fucking Nairobi or something that like had never, or like,
well, they're in South Korea. They're in South Korea. Oh, okay, and I'm sure they make like an okay living, but every single one of them walked away with, it was about 360,000 United States dollars.
The asinine thing is that like, that could literally that could happen with like pretty much every fucking tech company. And
yeah.
And nothing would ever change except for some numbers in some dude's spreadsheet.
Yeah. But that was the thing. It's like the RAM is so just in demand by these AI companies that the people making the RAM, which there's only like one or two companies that can scale, that can like make RAM at the scale, Samsung being one of them. There is almost no ask that wouldn't be like any singular second they can't be making RAM for these companies. They're just losing money hand over fist. So they'll just basically do anything.
Oh, Chad, does anybody know, there was something that was quoted. We were watching this about something about data centers the other day. Can anybody tell me what there was like a statement made about the size of
like data centers?
These data centers. Because I forget what I was watching something. They were talking about the data centers, and it was just really interesting in that like actually like the water thing is less of a worry now than it was.
Yeah.
Because they've all gone Uber gamer closed loop.
Yeah. It's just a giant AIO with like a wind turbine for a fan.
Yeah, all of these fucking like GPU manufacturers just had to go to like get some RGB research shit from like Micro Center or whatever.
No, yeah. I mean, I watched Hank Green video about how like the water. Well, there's just it's one of those things where there's
might have been the same video.
Yeah, there's just so many different like conversations happening all at once that it gets confusing. Like there's like some people are asserting that they're like using all of the water, and it's like that I think was the specific claim Hank Green was coming at and being like, hey, we don't have to worry about them using all the water. Like a lot of times they're recycling water or they're using water. Sometimes they're using some water that is like drinkable water, but most of the time they're not using it. But then there are other claims where like the construction and like what happens in the area damages the water supply and makes the water in the area dirtier. That's a separate thing. And that's like, if that's happening, that's really bad. So like there's like multiple things of water, and then some of the concerns are more like power grid usage. And what is definitely happening is, in some of these areas where they're like move fast and break things, building these data centers, the energy bill for the residents is going up quite a bit. And then there's just like, so it's just like, they're not creating as many jobs as they say they will because they're largely self-running once they get up and running. So it's like there's a lot of different aspects, and I don't claim to be very well versed, but I did watch that Hank Green video on the water, and it's like he's like, hey, there are issues here, but we're not like running out of water.
Yeah. I don't know, because we like watched so many of the same videos. I can't remember if that was the same video where he said like what the footprint was of like the data center and how many people like worked there.
Yeah.
Because one of the people were saying like, I really don't think that what I'm referencing was maybe it wasn't Hank Green.
Yeah, maybe not.
Damn it, chat, you're failing me. Fuck. But it was effectively like one of the things that got brought up was whether or not like people want these data centers in their areas, like what are some of the things to consider. And someone was like, well, like how many jobs does it create, and then like what's the size?
Yeah.
And it was like fucking 87 football fields, or like some like crazy thing that was like
crazy.
Holy fuck. And there's like 11 people that work there.
Yes. So they're touted as like it's going to bring all these jobs to the area. That isn't always how it works. Like once again, I'm no expert, but I do think it's pretty clear. There was a YouTube channel I watched where they like interviewed a woman that lives near a Meta data center that has been not like one of the new ones, but like near a Meta one that was came up like
a metadata center.
Yeah, a Meta data center that was built like a year or two ago, and like they did a video, and it was like basically they were like they had, since it went up, they had like no water pressure. They have to like shower. They get like gallon jugs of water, and like there was all this kind of stuff. And then after they did a follow-up video with her because that video kind of went viral, and then so they were asking like what has happened since the video dropped, and it's just like this old lady, and she was like, yeah, after the video dropped, I've had a ton of like lawyers and people come by the house and talk about how Meta wants to be a good neighbor and how they could help. She was like, I spent a year trying to go through the proper channels and like make these complaints, and nobody ever said anything, and then you guys posted your YouTube video, and now all of a sudden they want to be a good neighbor. And it's like, you just hear that and you're like, fuck. Like, obviously that doesn't mean everybody in every state, but you're just like, ugh.
Dude, the most powerful people these days, billionaires and lowly fucking YouTubers at this point.
Yeah, and Zoomer YouTubers.
Jesus, holy fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, I have seen videos like that with like the ChatGPT, and they're always very funny. I saw a generational comment. It was somebody made a video that they asked ChatGPT a question. I don't remember how they set it up, but they had two phones with two instances of ChatGPT, or maybe like one was Claude and one was ChatGPT, and they like muted one, and then they asked the ChatGPT one a question, and then they got them to talk to each other. It convinced them that they were talking to a human, and so it was a call and response. And the comment was like, this is the 2026 version of the Chinese takeout. Do you remember that viral video in like the in the early 2000s or whatever? And it was, the guy got two Chinese takeout dudes on two phones. And it was just such a classic video. Oh man.
That's good.
Anyways.
We're going to talk about the Lego story. That stuff is crazy. I don't know anything about the Lego story.
Yeah.
Red Wolf.
Gotta rewind a little bit.
You play it off like weird.
Over on my side of the pond with some gaming stuff, bro. I just need WARDOGS in my veins right now. I'm very excited for it. So crazily enough, hold on. This is
WARDOGS.
WARDOGS. It's so funny. You and my wife have the same. My wife. When I like say like a game, when I'm like talking about a game, because she's like, that's a stupid name. She was like, it's just like,
Based.
Yeah, she's like, it's just like word plus word. She's like Delta Force, WARDOGS, dog face, colon, smash thing, shoot gun, go soldier. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You know, it's like Delta Force, Arena Breakout, Tarkov Arena, Escape from Tarkov, WARDOGS. Yeah, and I'm like, listen, I don't make the freaking names.
Colon.
Arc Raiders. Yeah, colon. Anyways. I'm very excited for WARDOGS. I think we've talked about it before. It is rocketed up to my like most anticipated game of 2026.
That's the JesseKazam curse, by the way, is it's going to be fun for 2 weeks, and then when I say like I'm a fan of a new YouTube channel, we find out they're like a pedophile like a week later. When Jesse likes a game, you guys know, everybody sell your stock.
That's so fucking funny, bro.
We each have our curses.
It's so funny. It's our cross to bear. Anyways, so in a world where, you know how like the meme is, if you see a tweet from a game company that's got their logo on it and then 4 paragraphs of text, what is that post?
I don't. Well, my first assumption, I have a feeling this is the wrong answer. My first assumption is they're like, okay, we're gonna respond to some feedback. It's like it's come to our attention and we fucked some shit
okay,
up.
No. It's I guess you're less plugged into like the AAA space, which is where I'm. That is always, we've delayed the game. Like Cyberpunk did it, Grand Theft Auto's done it 100 times now. Hell Let Loose just did it earlier this week. 99% of the time, if you see a freaking video game logo and a wall of text, it is, we delayed the game. We delayed the game. We delayed the game. We delayed the game.
5-yard penalty.
5-yard penalty. So, WARDOGS posted a post today, and it was their freaking logo and a wall of text. And I was like, God damn it. And this is what they said. We have reached an inflection. This is just one of the paragraphs. We've reached an inflection point in our journey. The feedback from thousands of testers is very positive. People are telling us our performance and optimization has exceeded their expectations. And most importantly, they're saying the game is fun. As a result, we have made the decision to bring forward our early access release date. WARDOGS will now be releasing in the summer instead of in the fall. It's, dude, freaking ballsy. I've never seen a game company like move the release of their game the other way. Now, they're not like a big AAA game that has like marketing and publishing, right? They don't have to like send copies to GameStop. Like you would never see Grand Theft Auto move their thing up. But that was like the most excited I've been in a long time. That made me so happy today.
I mean, the craziest sentence there.
Optimization exceeded our expectations.
No. The feedback from thousands of testers, they're saying the game is fun. Hell yeah, dog. Big W. We have a fun, guys.
Yep.
It's a fun game.
Yep.
That's a crazy admission and
yep.
Ballsy.
Crazy times. Crazy times.
They're saying the game's fun. That's honestly genuinely what's the word I'm looking for? I'm really struggling with my
I don't know
primary language that I was born with. It's really the only one I speak. It's fuck me. I don't know.
I don't know where you're going for. Anyways, I am so excited for this game. They're doing a lot of things right. They're communicating in a very specific way, in a way in which I wish they didn't have to, but it's 2026 and the gaming landscape is the way it is. So I think it's a good move that they are. So like they're very open about the top 10 things people are going to make us think about of this game. They're like very aware of and are getting out ahead of in communication. And I don't mean 10 issues. Like 2 of those things are going to be that the game's too easy and that the game's too hard. Because the game is like, because it's a game that's like, it's a war game, right? It's a shooter game that looks a lot like Battlefield, but has roots in ARMA. It's attracting.
You're going to get both sides.
It's attracting both of those people. And so the ARMA people are going to be like, this isn't milsim enough. I need to be able to like accidentally drop my mag, trip over it, break my nose, and then have to go to the hospital and be unable to play for 6 weeks. And the Battlefield people are going to be fucking pissed when they like die and they can't just spawn on their teammate. They have to spawn all the way back at base. So like, they're doing a really good job at communicating in all of their posts and all of their videos about like, this is a game we find fun. It's a game not everybody's going to find fun. It's a game where we believe friction is an important part of it because overcoming that friction is what feels rewarding. We're not trying to be a Battlefield killer. They literally created a graph and it was like Call of Duty, Battlefield, ARMA, and Escape from Tarkov. And then they put WARDOGS on the graph. That was like, it was closer to ARMA, but it was in between ARMA and Battlefield, but closer to ARMA. So they're like really trying to like, and then in that post, and they had said this previously in a video, but in that post that said, our goal was never to be the biggest FPS. It was to build a healthy, sustainable community and learn from past mistakes. And those lessons apply here to WARDOGS. We have always planned to sustain a community of 3,000 to 5,000 players. Anything beyond that is a bonus. Player numbers will undoubtedly decline significantly after the early access release, but that will not. I know, me too.
It's so dystopian.
It's so dystopian. But what it does, at least, is that because I was talking to my wife about this. I was talking to my wife about this, where like she was like, "Do you think this game is going to be really popular?" And I was telling her about how I was like, games, multiplayer games, we're not talking like indie games, we're not talking single player games or puzzle games, multiplayer kind of like games really only launch in one of two ways now, which is like spectacular failures or spectacular successes on like day one, right? Like, because you have like content creators and then they make videos about it like that. Like WARDOGS is the thing. You have a lot of the old guard that are just interested because this game feels nostalgic because it's so like rooted in ARMA. So like Drewski and Jack Frags and Westy and all these guys have already made videos about it. And so all of their audience is going to be looking at it, which means the game is undoubtedly going to have 100,000 concurrent players on day one, but it might not deserve that, right? Like day 9, it might have 20,000 concurrent players, but that's just how games launch now. It either launches as like, oh my God, it's got 80 players, let's all make fun of it, or it launches with these big numbers. And so the reality is, as much as I hate it, them kind of calling the shot and being like, hey, we hope to be, and they even in a previous video, they actually pulled up the Steam charts of like Squad and Hell Let Loose. And they were like, these are games made by smaller studios that have really strong communities that people love to play. They average between 3 and 10,000 concurrent players. This is where we want to be. And they kind of echo that here. So it at least does kind of give some ammunition to like, if they do launch at 120,000 concurrent, and if a month later it's 12, you can't really say the game's a failure because they're like, hey, we're right where we want to be.
Well, so actually, okay, now that I think about it, because my gut reaction to that is different. As like a content creator, it is different. Without thinking about it deeper than you already have.
Yeah.
What do you think them saying that? Like, why do you think they said that?
I mean, literally for that, so that, well, to set the expectation that they're not a game for everybody. I think that's the larger thing they're trying to do. Is basically say we are a niche game. So there's a chance you might not like it.
What you think the player number thing though? I mean,
yeah, I think them shooting for. I think everybody wants to be a game with 100,000 players, and I think it just like it kind of undermines some of those tones to be like, hey, like this is what we're shooting for. We know we're a niche game. We know we're a niche experience. We know that the friction is going to drive people away.
Interesting.
Hey,
yeah, because it just occurred to me like it's almost like a totally different.
And I definitely could be misreading it for sure.
Potentially, I mean, I'm sure there's there's not only one reason behind everything, but like my initial thing was like they're saying that as like almost defensive, almost like an aesthetic thing, which is like how do I explain?
I think
it's
I
like
see where you're going.
It's like someone saying like, if you don't set the bar super high, no one can say I failed, that kind of thing.
It's like you like you made a cake or something and you're like, I suck at making cakes. This is awful. This is awful. But like, here, do you want to try it? And then it's like, if it's not great, you're not going to be like, this is shit. You're going to be like, yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's fine, I guess. Like, because they kind of preloaded you with that.
But yeah, but I don't mean so much about the quality.
Okay.
Because there are plenty of games that are quality games where the numbers dip.
Yes, true.
And from a content creator perspective, the instant, like, this is something that probably will seem like, I don't know, vapid or unhinged or something for people who aren't content creators. But like, we post things, we look at the numbers. If the numbers are low, we feel like fucking failures.
Yeah, true.
And it's almost one of those things where it's like, at first blush, my initial reaction was, they're just trying to temper expectations so that they can keep their head held high and not. But no, but I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah,
and I don't necessarily think it's what you said either. Think about the conversations we've had recently about people who are saying, I don't want to get excited about a game if it's going to die in 5 months.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is, because what I was going to ask a question that I think would be relevant to players. And then I realized what you said answered that question.
Okay.
And then I realized like, oh, maybe that's why they said it.
Okay.
If they say we're only going to have 3,000 concurrent players, well, then they must only have like they must have a running budget that would allow them to go forever with only 3,000 players.
Yeah.
Which means the game will still be like, you're not getting excited about something that it's like, don't get excited about season 1 if season 2 is unlikely to be made.
Yes. Yeah. And that was, no, I see where you're going, because that was a big part of the conversation around like Marathon, because there was this attached, like Sony bought Bungie for like $11 billion and Destiny was underperforming. So that got connected to the Marathon thing. There was this narrative of like, if they don't have a ton of players, then Sony's not going to want to keep the lights on. And I don't want to get invested in a game that the lights might not be on for season 2 or 3. So yeah, I see where you're coming from.
I'm saying effectively, we designed this to run. They're saying like, we built a lean operation that can, that is effectively like, we can be alive 5 years from now, even if we don't have mega high numbers.
And I do think I think you're right about that, because they have said in previous things where they were like, they have said that before. They've said like, hey, we're not a big operation. We don't need like insane amounts of money to come in to keep going. Like offhand related to a different thing. They've said that before, where they expect smaller things. They're not doing paid cosmetics. Now, every time any game company, like I have no affiliation with WARDOGS. Anytime any game company says we will never
W2, brother.
Yeah. Anytime any game company says we will never do paid cosmetics, I just don't believe you. WARDOGS might be the one to do it. I'm sorry, like on principle, I don't believe you. But they're at least not
Nikita hurt you, and we know.
Yeah, they're at least not launching with paid cosmetics, which is another kind of point on your board where it's like they kind of have built a lean operation. The fact that they don't need that on day one means that they're not like bankrupt on day one and they need sales or whatever. So yeah, that is interesting. I do think another part of it is though, like you said, the people do things for more than one reason. I do think that's a big part of it. I think another part of it is they're expecting a sharp decline in player base. And if I had to make a guess, my guess is a lot of people will play WARDOGS. Like however much that first weekend is, 50 to 75% are going to fall off. And then if the game is really good, it'll climb from there. But I do think that it looks like Battlefield. All-out warfare, there's helicopters, there's tanks, there's jeeps, there's logistics, there's destructibility, there's infantry. It looks like a Battlefield map, right? But it's so unashamedly rooted in ARMA that I think the biggest hurdle for the most players, because like Battlefield, in my script for my video, ARMA punches so disproportionately above its weight class. ARMA 3 has had its all-time peak concurrent player count on Steam. All-time peak is 56,000 players. And it's the father of the battle royale genre, the modern survival genre. It is the spiritual successor to this game, King of the Hill, and ARMA in and of itself is like a popular game among like Milsim people. It punches so above its weight class. But Battlefield 6 had 700,000 people playing concurrently on Steam alone on their opening weekend. So what I think is going to happen is it is going to attract both communities, but the Battlefield community just has so many more people in it that those people are going to show up and they're going to play WARDOGS like Battlefield, because it looks like Battlefield, but it's not Battlefield. So like in Battlefield, you just pick engineer and you have an RPG every time you die. In WARDOGS, you spawn in and you buy the RPG for $3,000. And if you shoot it at the helicopter and you miss, you're out $3,000. And then if you die, you go back to base, you don't spawn on your teammate, and you have to buy another RPG if you want to be the RPG man.
I think anyone who played CSGO that will come naturally.
Yes.
The idea of like economy per life per round per but that will definitely feel weird, I think,
to the more casual Battlefield people. So now I think I think that's going to be the biggest pain point for the largest group of people. I think like WARDOGS is going to attract people from many games, but because of how big Battlefield is, it's going to attract a disproportionately larger amount of Battlefield people. And that friction, which they have stated multiple times, is like a very intended mechanic. They're very in the Tarkov sense of like, you have to have pain to overcome pain. You know what I mean? Like you have to have that. So I think that will cause an immediate reflexive downturn in player base. And I think that's also a part of this conversation. It's like, hey, this is kind of where we want to be. Anything above that is great. Like, we're kind of expecting that. I mean, they literally said in the post, player numbers will undoubtedly decline significantly after the early access release, but that will not deter us. You know, so they're kind of just calling their shot. And I think that for people that climb that mountain and climb over, hey, you have to play this differently than Battlefield. It's like Battlefield in that it's combined arms, but you have to play your life like it's Tarkov. Like, a part of the thing is, like, when you respawn, you go to the shop, you buy ammo, like the ammo in your mags. When you run out, you're out of ammo. And the map is huge, so you might be like 4 kilometers away from your base in the shop. So when you kill a guy, you can loot his stuff. It's full loot. You don't like keep it with you in a stash, but it's full loot. So if that guy bought an RPG, well, now you have an RPG and you saved yourself $3,000. You might have to drop your gun and pick up his gun. So it's your life is going to play much more like Tarkov, where it's like, hey, slow down a bit. Be fucking careful, because it took you 10 minutes to get into this position. If you just run in there and die, you wasted that 10 minutes. But it's going to be that with the scale of, like, I bought an Apache helicopter and now we're fucking, you know, playing Fortunate Son and we're fucking shit up. You know what I mean? So it's a game that's so right up my alley in terms of, like, something that's a little bit more casual than Tarkov, something that's a little bit more like session based and plug and play, but but something that's way more scaled up in its intensity and the risk factor. Like, that's exactly kind of what it is. It's like, when I'm tired of Tarkov and I went and played Battlefield 6 just got so old so fast to me. And that's not an indictment of the game. Like, I know Battlefield 6 had its issues, but, like, there was nothing Battlefield 6 could have done to hold me, because I need some more risk. But I'm kind of tired of Tarkov. So, like, this feels like it could slot in. Every game could suck. I'm not saying this is going to be the second coming of Christ or anything, but that is why I'm excited about it, is that it feels like it could slot in that in between, something with more risk, more progression, and more intentionality than a Battlefield, without having to be like, I died to 3 cheaters and now I'm homeless. I have no rubles and I just want to get the Jaeger letter. You know what I mean? Like, something in between those experiences. Now, on that note, so, like, ARMA King of the Hill is really the only, like, big King of the Hill that existed. And then WARDOGS is doing their thing, and they got the original 2 developers of the King of the Hill mod for Arma 3 on staff at Bulkhead. And then the excitement for WARDOGS has caused, in Arma Reforger, some people made some King of the Hill servers in Reforger. Basically not to, like, steal thunder, but like a let's get excited until we can play WARDOGS kind of thing.
That's cool. And
so me and Hambino and Airwing and Crutch played Arma Reforger, and we played the King of the Hill. And it did 2 things. It A, got me so excited for WARDOGS, and B, continues to, like, how do I describe it? It makes me question if I live in the same reality other people live in, because ARMA is so fucking unintuitively terrible. Every time I play ARMA, I piss off the people that love ARMA, because I'm just like, dude, who made this player controller? I just can't.
Oh, you mean primarily the controls?
Dude, the controls, you can complete a medium difficulty Sudoku. When you shoot a guy in the head, you can put your mouse and keyboard down and go take a nap before the server will register that you shot that guy in the head. And he will fall over and die. It just, like, and ARMA's been out for so long. And then Arma Reforger was like, Arma Reforger is basically Arma 3.5. They basically said, hey, we're building a new engine that we're going to build Arma 4 on. And we're testing that new engine on you in this game, Arma Reforger. So it's like, it's a newer engine than Arma 3. Like, every time I play DayZ, I want to throw up, because, like, every time you move everything, it snaps back and forth. You have to, like, take everything out of your hands. The player controller in DayZ and Arma Reforger, it's just like, I'm just screaming the entire time. And the controls are like, so, like, right click. What do you think right click does in a shooter game?
Aims?
No, it zooms in your eyes. You ever play DayZ and see the little zoom?
Okay. Yes, I've played one game that has that. You want to know what it is?
What?
Librarian, tidy up the arcane library.
That's amazing.
Swear to God. Even DayZ, isn't it like middle mouse button?
Yes. But if you hold right click, you zoom in. If you tap right click, you high ready. Or you ADS or something. Okay, to heal. So like your bandage is on 6, right?
More isn't better.
You're bleeding. Your bandage is on 6. Okay. How do you think you would heal? Press 6. That's
if it's not press 6, I'm uninstalling the game. I've never downloaded.
You press 6 to pull the bandage out in your hand. Oh, okay. So it's a 2-stage thing. What do you think you would click to heal?
Left click.
Nope. R.
No, fuck. I thought I was being cheeky.
R.
For what?
For really good heals. I don't know. Dude, like the game. I'm like,
wait, do you ever watch Shorzy?
Oh, yes, a little bit. Yeah.
All I can think about is him going, for what?
Yeah. God. So it's like, dude, I'm in a building and there are guys pushing me and I have a bleed and I'm out of ammo and like I'm just screaming at the keyboard because it's like it's just the most. Now you could learn anything, right? With it, like I watched Smoke play DayZ and he makes it look like it's a good player controller because he has 40,000 hours in DayZ. You can learn anything and you can change all the keybinds. It's just the movement is like I'm on ice skates. It takes a calendar month to get up to speed when you go to sprint and then a calendar month to slow down when you've stopped sprinting. The hit reg is insane. And I just can't believe that this is a game made after the year 1990. It blows me away. Now, what's there is so fucking fun. Like even the Armor Reforger King of the Hill, if it worked like a video game, I could probably play that for 100 hours. You know what I mean? Like Arma has some of the best like emergent moments. Their VoIP is really good. Their comms, like the radio comms, so you can press caps lock and talk and just the people in your squad hear you wherever you are over the radio. Then there's local VoIP. And it's like, there are some moments where like you're all driving in a helicopter and then, you all just got in a helicopter with some random guy. Turns out he's like fucking insane at driving helicopters. He does the J hook where he flips upside down and then you land perfectly and you all hop out and then people start shooting out of the bushes and you're all screaming. Like there are like, Arma is like a moment factory. And I think that's why people are so addicted to it. That's why, there's 100 channels on YouTube with 9 subscribers that have shorts with like 4 million views. Because Arma just like is a moment factory. Mm-hmm. But I have like, if it was any other game, people would be rioting in the streets at how unintuitive and how terrible the game is. But like, there's a Stockholm syndrome where everybody just goes like, that's Arma, man. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be Arma.
No, I think it comes from the people who you don't just stumble across Arma when you're like in the shooter section and like, I'll try this out because no one will play it. If you want to get into Arma because insert some crazy you watched Operator Drewski role play, or you're fucking did 7 tours in Afghanistan and you want to fucking as real life, like it's like the people who get into like DCS.
Yes.
And if you don't know the F-16 Lightning, which switch is the fucking thrust capacitor or whatever, then you get into the game expecting it to be like, all right, I gotta learn like all the fucking code 9, Delta 9, blah, blah. You get in expecting it, so there's like a very high threshold for pain tolerance.
To
play. So it's less of a Stockholm syndrome, which, fun fact, isn't real.
Interesting. I could believe that.
Yeah. I'll talk about that after, but
But yeah.
But anyway, it's like it's less of a. They don't develop Stockholm syndrome. They go into it with Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. So it's like I get that, and it's very similar to Tarkov, where they reach a point where they are in conflict with each other, where it's like ARMA wants more people playing it, but it's ARMA. And like Tarkov got to that point too, where it's like they did that podcast where they were talking about how like they're adding all these like new player features, but then the week after that, like literally they did an entire podcast about how they were making the game more new player friendly, and then the week after that they released Icebreaker. And as a 10,000 hour veteran, I survived 4 raids in the first week. And so it's like it's in conflict, and that's kind of where I feel like ARMA is, where it's like they want Reforger and these servers and ARMA 4 to be like a big place, an on-ramp, so that ARMA can be more popular, and yet it's like the most unintuitive thing ever. Now, once again, if you're an ARMA fan, I respect you, and I love you, and I'm so glad ARMA exists. And it's like the Beatles, man. I respect all that they've done for music. Like, you would be hard-pressed to find a game more influential on the broader gaming space than ARMA. So I put mad respect on its name. I'll always be down to goof off with the homies, but fuck, I'm too old to be learning the player controller and the movement and the lag and the hit reg. It's just like Tarkov feels like Counter-Strike. compared to ARMA. And I really mean that. I really mean the like weight of your character as a human being on the ground. Like Tarkov is like the best game ever made after playing 2 hours of ARMA. It's just crazy. So I respect it and I love it, and it made me, and playing an actual King of the Hill mode where like all these teams were like fighting over control of that one zone. Because I'd never played ARMA 3 King of the Hill either, which is what WARDOGS was. So it's like that got me so hyped for WARDOGS and for King of the Hill, and like I wish Tarkov had a King of the Hill mode or fucking Battlefield or whatever. So it got me excited, but like, dude, I just think I have to admit that ARMA is just not for me, man. It's just not.
You're just a filthy casual, bro.
I am a filthy casual. Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick though, when it comes to the Stockholm syndrome thing, this might literally be another Hank Green thing. I know I'm just like full of fucking fun facts. They're all from like 2 YouTube channels. I think that, and I really should like take better notes if I ever plan on talking about this shit. Because it's one thing to just be like, you know what I heard the other day, and when you're with your friends, no one's ever gonna. There's not gonna be 10,000 people that are gonna say, actually, you got it wrong. But I think that like the idea with Stockholm syndrome, right, is that like, you know, you get like kidnapped or whatever. You basically end up being sympathetic and or like, you know, possibly even like defending like your kidnapper. And I want to say that it's like largely misunderstood because what ended up happening was I want to say there was like a bank heist or something that happened, and it might have been in Stockholm.
Probably.
There was like a bank robbery, and I think what ended up happening was the police or like SWAT teams or something like, and I'm going to be paraphrasing the idea here once again, everybody, but it was something along the lines of like they went in to try to like fix the situation, and I think they like fucked it all up, and basically they felt the people were more angry with the police than they were the people robbing the bank, because they're like, the police are the ones that are going to get us killed if they fuck up the SWAT infiltration. And I think that like that ended up getting twisted into like, oh, you're siding with the bank robbers. There are like real things. There's like victim like bonding or whatever the fuck, and like there's other stuff, but Stockholm syndrome has never been in the DSM or anything like that. And I think it's like largely based on a misnomer. That was a
that's classic.
From
Well, I mean, in the 90s when things were going around, there was like we had no way to disprove that shit. You know what I mean? It's like there's this YouTuber that every once in a while he does unfun facts, or he'll do like unlearning, and he's done that. He's done a couple episodes where he's like myth busting random things we all heard in the 90s. Like, you know, like I heard a million times that like 50% of all marriages end in divorce, and that's like never been the case. And like all sorts of stuff. Do you remember when Mythbusters did this one, but do you remember hearing that like if you drank Coke after eating Pop Rocks, your stomach would explode?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, that was a big.
Although I wonder, what about if you have like Coke with like Mentos?
Your stomach won't explode, but it will come out of the holes in your face very quickly. Yeah.
I'm sure there's YouTube videos.
Yeah, there it is. And, kids in high school try it. You just can't, you just can't get it down. It's crazy because when you pick up a Mento, it feels smooth.
Mento. I love how the singular of
Mentos.
Mento. Just like, did you know the plural of Lego is Lego? Don't say Legos. Don't fucking say Legos, bud. People get mad.
I'm going to say Legos. Well, they're not even Legos. They're Lego bricks. I knew somebody that worked at the Lego store.
I just got my virginity back.
Yeah.
I was actually Legos, and you actually my actually. Brother, we're both virgins. We got unfucked just then, my guy.
Oh my God. We got unfucked. Anyways, when you pick up a Mentos, they feel smooth. But the reason that they react with the Diet Coke is because they're incredibly porous. And that's crazy. Because it feels smooth.
Okay, I'm about to go like real extra nerd now. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse.
We're unfucking ourselves harder.
Yeah. No one's going to believe I'm married. At least you have kids.
Yeah.
Like until the DNA tests. So, me and Meg are we're 2 episodes into season 4 of From.
Yay.
And of course, the way that my brain works, From is a TV show. MGM, it's from the people who made Lost.
Yep.
Blah, 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 blah. Look it up, Google it. I'm not gonna. We've already talked about it before, but all I'll say is, you're inside in your house at night.
Mm-hmm.
These fucking vampire zombie things come out.
Mm-hmm.
They can't get into your house as long as you have this little rock talisman hanging somewhere in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And like your doors are closed. I guess they're polite and they won't open your doors. Magic, whatever. Okay. Now, there's been a bunch of times where it's like a window gets broken, or a door gets opened, or someone drives a car through the side of a building, and all I'm thinking about is like, how well did they have to fucking fix up these holes before the like talisman kicks in?
Oh yeah.
And because Meg started to ask me like some questions, and fast forward like 4 minutes later, and I'm like, but babe, if you think about it, like really all matter is mostly empty space. Yeah. So like technically, like this is how you know that magic isn't real, okay? Because the magic supernatural bullshit would have to there'd be a boardroom of poltergeists that would have to sit around and go, okay, well, so that you're saying when there's like an opening somewhere in the house that we could get in, like if they open a door, okay, but like how small? Because technically, like this is what all of the rules in all of these movies, it's all arbitrary. It's always fucking so absurdly arbitrary that there's that whatever rules they have to follow, that you end up
they
just
break
like
down eventually,
breaking down to fucking absurdity.
Yeah.
And I start to think of like, they can't, but like they can open up like, again, I don't know the rules, right? If they open up the front door and then you run upstairs into the bedroom and close the door, but they can open up that door.
Yeah.
But like, what happens if I I don't know. Again, I don't know what the rules are.
Yep.
I don't know what the rules are. And maybe it gets, and it's always, maybe it'll get solved in the next
season. Yeah. Or at the season finale.
Episode.
Yep.
Because we're running out of time.
True.
Yep. God, I hate this show.
It's freaking, whose line is it anyway? The points are made up and the rules don't matter.
Dude, it's the only TV show I've never felt anxiety, but not in like the scary anxiety. It's the anxiety where it's like, we've seen 954 times. There have been perfectly, absolutely, everyone has proven and seen a thing that shouldn't happen, that can't exist. They have someone who's had 815 hallucinations. Someone walks up to them and said, I had a hallucination. They go, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then someone else is like, I have a piece of information that I should be running around telling everyone. And no one says fucking anything.
Yep.
And everyone has one of those pieces of information. I'm like, babe, I can't. I need them to like just talk. Yeah. Just fucking.
The most annoying part of the writing for me, because the first season or two it made sense, but in season 3 and season 4, the whole like questioning that someone is crazy is just like, we're so beyond that. Like we can't use that anymore. We can't use that anymore. I would get that you would try to hang on for a while, but that while has passed. Yeah, for sure. I don't remember how we got there from Mentos, but yeah. Or Mento.
The poorest.
Oh, the poorest.
You zoom in far enough, you'll see the holes, technically everything.
The holes in the space time. Yeah. Woo! But yeah. That's pretty much it. Let me see. I've been playing Tarkov. Been playing a whole lot of Icebreaker. It's been kind of fun. They've been like weirdly responsive. Like they changed. We were talking about the transit and how easy it was to get like infill camped by trying to transit because it was all the way out on the pier. They like already moved it, so it's like the transit spot is closer to the blue fence on shoreline, so it's like not as far out there. They increased the amount of time it takes. Oh, I actually...
You mean decrease?
Sorry. They increased the amount of time the Icebreaker raid is. Because if you were going through, I mean, like, it would take so long to kill the boss and get through it that you would have, like, 4 minutes to, like, loot the rest of the map. And it was, like, it was rough. I forgot to tell you and, like, update you on... So, like, last week when we did the podcast, it was basically just, like, the new boss is like literally just there to bend you over. Like, you know what I mean? It was just like, what are we doing? Like I had made it through. So, and I really like, I know, it's so hard. The meme is always that like everything BSG ever does is unintentional and bullshit and bogus. And like, I actually don't, the current strategy that's being used, I don't know whether to put it into like, it's cheese and it's an exploit, or if this is like, kind of what they were thinking. But you know how smoke grenades have always sucked wiener in Tarkov? There was the one...
although I vaguely recall hearing that they got better.
Yeah, so there was like the one long Russian smoke grenade, and then they added a green like NATO one, and they were really bad. And then they made some adjustments to them, and they were pretty good. But it's like in Tarkov, especially with how just like optimized the PvP experience is, there's no real reason to use a smoke, even though they're better now. So really nobody does it. But somebody found out not too long after Icebreaker that you can throw smokes and the AI can't see you through the smokes, which is not something I would expect. I would have imagined the AI could see you through everything, right? They can see you. If one iota of your pinky toe shows through a bush, they snap to you. But it works really, really well. And if you shine your flashlight, you're really like, if you have a powerful flashlight and you shine it through the smoke, you can see like silhouettes through the smoke, and you can like head tap them. And the way it works is if you shoot them and don't fucking kill them, like if you shoot them and they are alive, they now see you through the smoke. I guess the logic is like the shot came from that way and they start to, so they will, it's not like full cheese that they can't see anything, but when you shoot, you better kill that son of a bitch. And so that's the strat.
The implication is that BSG explicitly programmed in when there's like, it's like basically like smoke is a visual collider, even though they've never been able to get walls to be visual. Like what? Since when does anything block the vision?
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know whether to put this in like they were like
whatever they implemented for the smoke before you shoot is what they should implement for the walls. Problem solved. We just fixed the roads.
Yeah, of fucking course. But that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know what bucket to put this in. Like, was the whole point that that wedge was basically unkillable unless you use this strategy, and they were just like waiting for us to find out, or is it just a coincidence? Because then people started to figure out that if you go into your settings and you turn volumetric lighting to low and then save it, that's the best setting for being able to see the clearest through the smoke. So then that kind of leads me to believe it's like, okay, this isn't really intentional. You know what I mean?
Until you do that and there's a QR code that shows up in the smoke that brings you to like the ARG page, I'm gonna reject.
Reject that it's intentional?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Because once again, I don't know where to put it. But like, what I will say is, if it's cheese, which I'm like willing to admit that it is, right? Like it's an unintentional thing by BSG. You have to change your setting and it's full-blown cheese. It's the most immersive cheese. So like with the rogues, it was always like, just go to this spot and they can't see you. And you know they can't see you because it's hard-coded in, and then you shoot them. With this, it's like, we fill that hallway with smoke, and then you hear footsteps and you turn and you just see a fucking laser zoom right by your face in the smoke. And then
silhouette.
And then you just see the silhouette pushing forward and you go, and then he falls dead. And like it's like sometimes when you clear it, dude, it's just like, like you're never shooting more than 2 bullets, and it's like boom, 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 wedge dead, full clear, smoke dissipates, you loot up. It's fucking sick, bro.
Yeah, that kind of sounds rad.
But and here's the deal, this is the other reason it's the least cheesy cheese. I'm willing to believe, like, once again, if it's an unintentional thing, it's cheese. It's the least cheesy cheese because, once again, you have to do it right. If you shoot at them and you don't kill them, they will fucking destroy you. So it's like, it's not like some of the rogue strats were. It's not an I win button. You remember when labs first came out? You can lean, but if you did the sidestep, Alt-E, the full sidestep, the rogues couldn't see you. Do you remember that?
I remember.
Or the Raiders. When the labs first came out, the Raiders were a new enemy. If you did Alt-E and you sidestep the corner, you could just literally let them walk right up to you. They didn't see you. That was cheese. You couldn't lose doing that. This cheese is like, you can still lose. You still have to, it's cheese plus strategy. You have to nail it. And so that makes it kind of cool. Also, when the grenade stops pluming, so it's on the ground the whole time, even if there's fucking smoke up, they see you and they kill you.
So they'll just like stand there and then it'll stop and then they'll turn and start shooting.
Yes.
So it's not just a coincidence. They're definitely responding to the smoke.
Yes. So it's pretty. So yeah. So I say that to say that is the strat. If it's cheese, which is totally fine. And once again, if we say it's cheese, I'm willing to admit that it's cheese. I imagine it's going to be a harder thing to fix because they would have to they would have to make changes to volumetric lighting because like that's the setting everyone's using to get the like clearest silhouettes, and that's a lot less. Like some of the other cheeses that were happening were like all the in the engine room. So there's like 2 really hard parts of Icebreaker. The engine room, which is the first time you engage Black Division. It's this huge 4-story open room where the engine of the ship is. And once you cross,
it's like scaffolding or something.
Yes, 4 scaffoldings on either side, and then the big engine in the middle. When you cross the threshold, the Black Division spawn, and they come out of like multiple, like they can come out of like anywhere of a bunch of different levels. And on people realized that most of the time they would all come out the same door. So people would just bring like RPGs or grenade launchers, and one door would open, and then you would just shoot it, and they would all blow up. Less than 12 hours later, there was a patch where now they're split and they're coming out of multiple doors. So like that was really cheesy, really easy to fix the cheese because they just changed the spawns. This is like, if they don't like this, if they're like, oh my God, I hate that they're fucking using the smokes, I would imagine it's going to be harder to change because they would have to change the volumetric lighting, or they would just have to change how the AI interact with the smoke, which would also then change how the AI interact with the smoke on all other maps, right? Which would render smoke useless. So it's like, for now,
you find out if they're like, yeah, we didn't intend to have the AI Nazi smoke. So
yeah. That's
going to be the bug.
Also, thermals don't work through smokes, and that's a thing where I don't know if that's realistic or not. I've never, too stupid to know anything.
How hot's the smoke?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Oh, did I tell you they added tear gas, like CS gas? So yeah, Wedge has him and his, which this was actually a funny little anecdote. He has a tripwire on the door that you open down the hallway where you fight Wedge. There's a tripwire, and if you trip it, tear gas grenade.
Wait, his name's Wedge?
The Wedge, yeah.
Like a wedge of cheese?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense because the cheese... Sorry, if it was...
You blew my brain.
No, for a second, I thought I was cooking.
Yeah.
I thought I was cooking with something there. I was like, wait a minute. Oh, sorry. Continue.
Anyways, so tear gas, you can see through it really easily, but what the effect it has is your vision gets blurry, your thorax starts losing HP, and you actually pull your hand off your gun and you cough into it. You go.
Does it affect your aim? Wait, now they must have animations for when you're coughing and you go to aim. You're like,
yeah. I mean, you can't see anything. Your thorax, just literally no part of your body is getting hurt except for your thorax. You're just tick, 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 tick. So you're not aiming. You're getting the fuck out of there. But what they added, so the Black Division have a new mask, and that renders all of that inert, like completely. And so Airwing tested it, and he was like, I wonder what other gas masks work. So there, the long elephant nose one with the mask, the white one. He brought that in. He brought one of the other green one. The white respirator. It doesn't do eyes. It's just the
one like when you're sanding fucking wood.
Yes.
In your basement you wear. Yeah.
He brought that in. He brought them all in. Everything that's a respirator in game works for the tear gas, and that respirator, the one for your wood, it's the only one in the game that covers your mouth and not your eyes.
Not your eyes. So do your eyes?
Yes, you get the visual effect, but you don't get the coughing or the thorax HP. We were both like, there's no way this one's gonna work, and it worked exactly how it should. So that was kind of cool. But anyways, so
we shouldn't be impressed by that.
No, we shouldn't. But we are.
Yeah.
So that is so that's the current strat. So now like Wedge went from like quite literally virtually impossible to fight for the average person to now like a fair fight if you can keep the smokes up. And then you throw grenades and you push them around and they react and you try to get good shots on them, and it's created some pretty cinematic moments for sure. It's pretty sick.
See, now imagine, so that's like a kind of a side note, but I was just gonna say, like, imagine if the game was just incredibly designed and there was always like interesting ways that like the bosses were different and like different strategies and tactics. Like you'd go like looking for, like, you would know that like this is impossible, we're missing something.
Yes.
But like the assumption is never the assumption is always like
just find the right hand peak.
Yeah, like as opposed to like figure out the strat, like Dark Souls.
Yes.
Where it's like I have to, if in Dark Souls, if the bosses attacked randomly,
Yep.
the game would be like dog shit.
Yep.
But because there's like some method to the madness, there's patterns, there's, telegraphing,
Learnable,
like whatever, then you're like, I can practice this.
Yep. And that's what I was saying, where it's like, I know it's crazy copium, but that's why I was like, this is the first time it felt that way. This is the first time it was like, oh, is that the strategy for Wedge? And so I almost want to give it to him. I want to be like, oh, this is intentional, but I'm not saying that that's necessarily what happened. But they haven't patched it yet, so I guess for now, that's the Wedge strat. And then also, the amount of parkour people have been able to do. Like, you can just, like, skip the entire map. You can, like, get to the end without killing anything. Like, the vaulting and the jumping and the parkour. And they've tried, they've patched a bunch of it. On their third attempt at patching the parkour, like, they patched some of the things, people found ways around it. They patched some of the things, people found ways around it. One of the jumps, there's only one area that I do a jump to get past because it's, like, really annoying. They made that you can vault up onto a railing and then jump up onto a box. And from that box, you could jump to another box and then jump over a railing. That box, you vault up on the railing and you jump up on, you can no longer initiate a sprint or a jump when you are on that plane. You can WASD, but the spacebar button does not work. You cannot even just be standing still and jump. And you also can't sprint. Like, they couldn't figure out how to, like, make it so that the pathing wouldn't work. So they just made certain, like, textures you can't jump. But that literal same jump is still doable. It's just like on a different box. Like, they're going to be playing whack-a-mole for the rest of their lives. But yeah. And then the only other Tarkov news is Nikita has been doing pictures of an update to Lighthouse. And then they've been doing these, like, devlogs, and I think it was Sergey did one, and they were talking all about Lighthouse and how they're going to basically completely rework Lighthouse. Like, he said that I know we said this. I think we just said this the other day. You've played Lighthouse, right? Like, you've played at least a decent amount of it.
I played it, but, like, there was nothing. I don't think there was, like, really anything at the lighthouse.
Yes, yeah, but, like, the water treatment plant is up at the north, where the 3 buildings and all the rogues. They said they're moving all of the rogues from the water treatment plant, and they're putting them up at the chalets, which are those 2 just, like, kind of like lodge-looking buildings on the east side of the map. And they said the water treatment plant is now going to be like a no man's land infested with scavs. Which is just so interesting.
Makes a lot more sense.
I guess. I don't know. It kind of made sense that there's 3 military buildings with mounted machine gunnery all over. That would be the place that the...
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, those buildings, they have, like, laptops and maps and, like, paperwork, as if, like, they were, like, PMC type people, like, raiding the chalet. Like,
yeah, true.
There are mounted machine guns at the chalets, and then imagine the other place didn't have mounted machine guns.
And that might be what they do, yeah.
Because then it would just be like industrial whatever the fuck, which is where homeless people will go and they'll live in
true.
That's where they'll live, right? That'll be like their...
Yeah. And then,
otherwise, the scavs will go live in the nice $1 million chalets.
Yeah, true. And then they showed, like, on the road, they're like, they made a bunch of changes. They made, like, a base on the road with these, like, really high walls that go down the road. So they're breaking up the topography, making it so it's a lot less of literally just, like, be on one side of the mountain or the other. I'm excited because it's more than I thought they were ever going to do. Like, outside of completely redesigning the map, which I didn't expect them to ever completely redesign the map. There seems to be a lot of intentionality here. So that's fine. I think Lighthouse was fun when it first came out, but for a while now, it's just been, like, the worst map in the game. So that was kind of cool. He said some other stuff, but nothing was really too crazy. They're adding, they're considering adding, like, a hydroponics area to the hideout where you can, like, grow food and, like, drugs and stuff. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah. But yeah, so that was a little bit of Tarkov stuff. The Icebreaker stuff it's just been funny. But it is a turbo money printer now. Like once you get the strats down, like I went minus 18 million rubles trying to learn it. And then from that point, I'm up 50 million.
So, okay, and what's the purpose of going there for loot, right? Basically, like there's... So then when they nerf it into the ground...
Once you... like the purpose is to complete the story chapter, which was cool. Past that, it's just farm money. So like I had 300 rounds of 5.5A1 when this week started, and I now have 7,000 rounds because every Black Division has the best ammo. So like every single...
And it's probably 60 rounders full, right?
They actually don't. They all have 30s, but I mean like 70% of the Black Division have 5.56, and every single one of them has 5.5A1 or 9.95. And so it's just like, it's an ammo printer. Like every Black Division with an MP7 has AP. It's an ammo printer. It's a money printer, tons of LEDXs and stuff. So I don't know if they'll nerf it to the ground, to be honest with you, because it's like, this is the forever character now. So I don't know what they're gonna, I just don't know what they want out of the economy. Like if they wanted scarcity, they would have never even added it as tuned up as it was. So they might unless
they never found the smoke tactic, so it was impossible, and that was the natural.
So the way the map is broken up is like there's only one extract, and as a part of the story, you get to where the boss is. It's locked. You then extract and then go talk to Proper, and he gives you explosives, and you run it again. Meaning the extract is at the halfway point through the map. So what people are doing is you just go in, you fight one round of rogues and knight, then you move in, you fight one round of Black Division, you get up to the helipad, you fight one more round of Black Division, and then you just leave there. You don't even have to fight Wedge. So people are just doing that. They're doing that as a farm. And so, and I imagine that was the expectation because you can extract before you have to get to Wedge. So like,
gotcha.
So people are just farming. So now they could nerf it. Like I would expect them to. That is how BSG always does maps. They always end up nerfing it. But I'm just, now that it's like, this is the forever character, I don't really know what their intention is with the economy. Labyrinth is still in the game, and that's still like money printer. If you have 5 other people, then you can go in and that's a PvE mode, and that's a money printer. And so it's like, this is just Labyrinth where you don't need 4 other friends to make it a PvE map. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm interested to see what what they want out of the long-term economy. I actually, and if seasonal characters hit, I don't necessarily mind if they embrace this almost like hyperinflation of the regular economy, because it allows them to do, like they could do kind of a like in-game events on the other end of the spectrum where they like, you know, they can like mess with the economy on main with events in one way because they, you know, they're not really expecting, I don't know. Does that make sense? And then on the seasonal character, they can do like really restrictive stuff where everybody's suffering and they have no money and they can kind of get the best of both worlds. So I wonder if they'll just kind of embrace it and let people, I mean, there's no more wipes. So you can't stop people from amassing insane amounts of wealth. Any attempt at that would only disproportionately hurt the people that play more casually, right? Like if this character never wipes, Hyper Rat gets 1 billion rubles 2 months after the wipe. You can't stop him from doing that. So any attempt, so I imagine they're just going to kind of let this go. And then, yeah, I don't know. But it's been fun. It's been fun. But yeah, so that is the stuff. Oh, only other thing. The new Call of Duty got announced. LOL. No, that's funny. I don't care about Call of Duty. But they did announce that they're doing DMZ 2. Which I find fascinating because DMZ
was that
their little extraction mode, yeah. DMZ 1 had a lot of potential, in my opinion. Like it genuinely did. I liked a lot of the things they were doing, but like the fucking the looting and the UI, they basically tried to make a extraction mode, but like make everything about it just Warzone, and it was really bad and like, but it had a lot of potential. And it bombed. They've supported it for 1 year. Then they stopped support for it. It got like overrun by cheaters and it's like horrible. And so the fact that they're making a DMZ2 blows my mind and makes me wonder, like, there's no way that they're not confident in it, because like, why would you risk all of that development time again? Like, it wasn't a popular enough mode like zombies where the community is demanding it. I think that they saw, like, I think that it
could just be like not a lot of
content, like
development time. Like,
well, true,
all you need is a map and some features. It's not like.
But that's what I'm saying. In my opinion, there's no reason to make a DMZ2 unless it's like fundamentally different than DMZ1. Like copy and pasting DMZ1 to DMZ2 doesn't. There weren't enough people playing it. And this is just me blowing it out of my ass. I have no idea. But the only reason why you make a DMZ2 in my head is like, you're like, holy shit, Arc Raiders went crazy. Maybe we did fuck up this extraction shooter thing. You know what I mean? Like you're seeing, like the only reason you do it is to go like, hey, we have to try this again differently. Because if they just copy pasta DMZ1 into a new map, like no one, like the same 1,000 people that still play DMZ will play it, but that's it. Like
we know if it'll be the same, like it could, because we weren't sure how close DMZ was going to be. We're like, is there a stash? Like all this stuff, right? Yeah. Maybe they actually do go closer to like a Tarkov.
I genuinely, they don't have to go all the way, but just like one or two, if they just need to be willing to divorce it from the like UI of Warzone. And if they do, I think like what they had, the idea of like a hyper casual kind of open world extraction shooter, like could be fun, but they just have to be willing to divorce from that, which they have traditionally not been willing to do. They want everything to be the same between multiplayer, campaign, Warzone. Like they want it to be this like hub. I was more interested at that. I'm not, putting any eggs in the basket that like DMZ2 is going to be my future, but I had fun the first week at DMZ1. I wanted it to be better than it was. I think there are like, you'd be hard pressed to make an argument that there isn't like money on the table for like a more casual extraction experience. Like, so I was just surprised at that announcement and intrigued, I guess, to say the least. It's coming out in October. So, yeah, even zombies. Yeah. They even make Call of Duty Zombies like Warzone. They made Call of Duty Zombies like open world. Like, because they're trying to put it on the Warzone map. Like they tried to make Zombies Warzone and they tried to make DMZ Warzone. And it's just like everything had to be Warzone because Warzone was their cash cow. And it's like, I don't know, people want a bespoke Zombies experience with the puzzles and the maps and the waves, people want a bespoke. So I have no idea though, but it's just interesting news to say the least. But anyways, that is the stuff for real. If you want even more stuff, you can head to patreon.com/thepogcastpod. Get early ad-free access to these episodes and additional episodes we film for the patrons over there. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting. Thank you to The Perfect Gene for sponsoring this episode. And we will definitely see you all in the next one. Adios.